Have you ever tried to put down every single zombie in the Resident Evil 2 remake? Well, I have, and it drove me to just about insanity. By far, the worst 3.5 hours of my life. Hi there, my name is Tally, and today I'm playing Resident Evil 2, and I'm putting down every single zombie that I can. The rules are simple. The challenge starts from the RPD, since trying to beat anything or everything before that point is just pointless. It's impossible. There's like 25 dudes, and you have 10 bullets. There is no infinite ammo. Did it before. This time we're going raw. And of course, if you're new here, you need to like and subscribe. Now let's dive in. Starting off in the RPD, you'll be shocked to find out that my first 15 minutes or so was incredibly bereft of any sort of zombie-based violence. However, the reason for that, like many things that stress me out, it's all about the economy.
The economy is in shambles right
now. By that I mean the ammo economy. The ammo in this run is so tight for the most part, so I spent the first section of the game just hoarding ammo and gathering all the resources that I can. This eventually leads me to getting the key to the shotgun, and now that the boomstick is unlocked, the unending slaughter of undead abominations can begin. Now, despite general misconceptions, Leon actually thinks that the only good cop is a dead cop, especially when they're an undead cop. Now here's my first worry of the run. Lickers. I knew I had a fair bit of ammo, but for some reason I thought, can I even beat this thing? So what I did was I ran away, and then I pondered in the unicorn room for a couple of minutes. After 10 minutes of intense self-debate, some people could even say mass debating, I decided to take it head on, and it decided to take my head off. I won't lie, I did soil myself a little bit. Now that I've wiped down there fairly thoroughly, it's time to keep wiping out the zombie population of the Raccoon Police Department. Now, we all know that zombies are in fact brain dead, but do you know who else is brain dead? Me. I decided to do the most brain dead thing I could have possibly done and waste 2 knives and a flashbang or 2 on zombies in the murder hall. Am I proud of this? No. Am I gonna let it ruin my day? Yes. Am I absolutely gonna regret this in no time at all? Yes. Speaking of that regret, it's time to take on Birkin 1. Normally, I'd decide to be a true Scottish warrior and knife this guy until his guts are bleeding out his arsehole. However, I wasted my knives upstairs, and the plan went downhill quicker than a greasy avalanche. After I dug myself out of this mess that I created for myself, I decided to handle this like I'd handle any problem if I was American. I shot him in the head and I screamed "Stop resisting" the whole time. Then, he fell down a hole. And before I can advance through the story, I have a quick checklist to go through. First, find some cool items. Second, kill some zombies. Third, chew bubblegum. I don't know how that got on there. However, as for a search for some bubblegum, I find my least favourite enemy in the game. Good boys. However, these good boys are being bad boys, so they've got to go. Literally. It's the worst part of the run. It's a minus 10 out of 10, but it's in the rules. I've got to do it. So I put the good boys down, and I don't feel good about it. But to make myself feel better, I put down a couple of zombies, steal a key, and find the first of 2 electrical parts that I need to progress. The reward for my efforts? More dogs. I can't say that I'm happy about it all, but I'm sure this is the last time in Leon's story that I'll be put through this torture. And with that, we're back to the RPD. So, for the RPD 2, it's much the same as before, except this time I've got the ammo and the willpower to walk through this place popping caps in every single undead ass. Now that I'm writing this though, you've got to think, that must be one of the foulest smells ever to have existed. Like, honestly, can you imagine zombie ass? And you know for a fact, most of these people have probably shit themselves. Oh, look, it's Mr. X. You know, he's gonna give it to you. But Mr. X does actually cause a bit of a problem here. The act of zombie-based genocide comes with the simultaneous act of holding up a megaphone and screaming, "Mr. X, please come and stomp on my throat." And to some people, that's a kink, so they might enjoy that, but to me, huge turn off. I'm not into throat stepping. Overall though, since I was pretty thorough the first time through, I've really only had to handle the newer zombies, and that wasn't so bad. There have definitely been moments where I've been really worried about ammo consumption, but this isn't really one of them. Also, I'm going to put my hands up and admit, I did lose a licker. I'm not so sure what happened, or how it happened, but it slapped me upside the dome, I ran into a door, and when I came back out, it was gone. That might be a loss to the challenge, but I'm sure that you'll all be so forgiving and you won't comment, "Haha Tally, you loser, you lost a liquor." because that would make me very sad, and it would definitely be bad for the algorithm for you to leave some sort of comment, really anything at all. But following that, I make my way upstairs and add a bell tower to the kill count, borrow another electrical piece, and make my way to my living fucking nightmare. So it's back down to the garage to go steal Ben's keycard. Who's Ben, you might ask? Not important, he's dead. Anyway, when I do get down there, I make my way to the parking area and... oh, I'm sorry, good boys and good girls, but you got to take a good long nap. Following my worst nightmare of having to fight more dogs follows my absolute worst nightmare, which is the garage ambush. I don't know why all these cells open up, but I really wish that they wouldn't, because it did cause me a silly amount of stress trying to put these guys down. I was genuinely convinced the run was over. I was genuinely convinced that I could not handle all these zombies and Mr. X. And I tried, and I tried, and I tried, and I tried to put together a solid strategy and find something that worked better than crying and praying. On my first try, I wanted to see if I could get Mr. X to kill the zombies for me. And in retrospect, he probably could. However, I have zero patience. I could not do that if I tried. So I hit retry and I went back to crying. The second try is where I decided I'd get my precious knives involved, pop them in the noggin, start slicing as soon as they hit the ground. It didn't work. I tried it again, almost worked. The more I try it, it's definitely getting more viable, but with my current setup, it was just purely going to require some solid luck. Now, after slashing, shooting and sobbing my way through a good few more attempts, I was ready to restart the run entirely. But I possibly came across the perfect amount of RNG, along with God himself blessing my stressed and sad ass, and I made it. Thanks God, I needed that one. Now it's time to blow apart a crocodile. Never figured I'd say that. Now we're on to the Ada section, and I'm going to be absolutely honest, I had the worst time of the run at this point, because you need to be so unbelievably lucky. I actually was about to give up. I did like maybe 5-6 attempts of this, and on the final attempt, just so happened to be the one where like the gods had lined up all the crit RNG, because that's what this bit is, by the way. It's entirely RNG. It's not actually fun for this challenge, because Ada has super limited ammo. Where there is ammo, it's a point of no return, so you can't like go stock up and come back, and there's a lot of zombies. You pretty much need to be able to pop them all within 3 shots, maybe 2, so it has to be headshots, it has to be crits, and if you don't get that, go hit the restart button, because you've just failed. You can tell I'm a little bit bitter about this. I actually didn't script any of it, this is all coming from the heart. I recorded this ages ago, I still have that hatred in my bones. Anyway, let's move on. And do some cleanup duty in the sewers. Now this doesn't help my constant flow of anxiety, because now that we're in the sewers, we have to deal with G-adults. G-adults are big stupid bullet sponges, and I am not a fan of big stupid bullet sponges. Like, these dudes are not hard, they just take a while. Gonna be honest though, due to these big stupid bullet sponges, I'm getting some real concerns if the challenge is still viable or not. So here's what I do. I leave. I mean, when I say I leave, I head back up to the RPD, because there must be places that I haven't fully explored and ammo that I haven't picked up. And I was right, I even got the Magnum, which I think was a genuine game changer for the better, and I found the liquor that I lost earlier. Haha, now he's dead. Serves you right, bozo. I do have to head back to the sewers eventually, so I go on my very merry way, putting down as many G-adults as I can, and feeling pretty good while I do it. That's a lie. I didn't feel good. I hated this. But I think that's why it's funny. Speaking of G-adults, it's time to take on the only adult G that matters, my G, Birkin. This fight actually not so bad. You can get away with barely using any ammo if you've got some knives, which I do. Did not stop me from dying a couple of times though, but I got there in the end, and I have a good time with this boss since it's really a departure from shoot it till it falls down, and more, hit it with a shipping container till it falls down. There's a subtle difference there. And with that out of the way, it's time to take on the Nest. Nest is actually shockingly short in terms of content. By this point in the run, I had zero worries, because the run really has a difficulty spike in the middle, But by the end of the game, my weapons are upgraded, the game is throwing ammo at me left, right and centre, I have a huge arsenal at my disposal, and it wasn't really easy, but I didn't ever feel like I was going to have a hard time with it. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm Rambo, still got to be careful with my aim and my ammo consumption, but I do feel like a big powerful man. Now, for the most part, the game throws just regular zombies at you. Some of them have a little bit of armour, but there are these stupid plant assholes that love fire as much as I love dark chocolate. And I'm going to be honest, I hate dark chocolate. And then there's G3. G3 as a boss, also not that bad. It's just a big stupid ammo sponge, and I hate big stupid ammo sponges. Wait a minute, have I done this joke recently? Anyway, I'm going to stay careful with the ammo, but from this point I'm pretty much home free. He's not bad, and if you've got a couple of knives, you're going to have a good time. Now let's head into the final stretch of the game. I used to get so anxious about the timers. Something about timers just turns me into a mess. And I would be running like Forrest Gump. But this run actually taught me that not only do I have enough time, I have more than enough time to dunk on everything that comes my way. The plant section with Mr. X was the worst part, didn't have a good time with it. And of course the Mr. X boss fight, I would never call it fun, but you know what is fun? A rocket launcher. However, back to not having fun. There's not a lot of chance to use that rocket launcher because the game's over. We're done. It's time to go home, or in my case, to the outro. Now, I'm going to sit back and be like chill, casual Tally, because I'm talking to you as kind of pals here. I've sat on this video for months and months and months. I hated every script that I did for it. I just didn't think any of them were that good. And to be honest, you know, maybe this one isn't a 10 out of 10, but I liked it enough to decide to edit it, put it together, and give it to you guys. So if you do think the video was great, or good, or just not terrible, or even terrible, let me know in the comments below, alright? Comments are good feedback, and I love to engage with you guys. Like, if you leave a comment, it makes my poop breaks at work 10 times more entertaining, and 10 times more engaging. To talk about the actual challenge though, it was an odd one. Usually, with these runs, I just run from important fight to important fight, and ignore pretty much everything in between. For this though, it was the opposite. I had to be absolutely meticulous in order to get enough resources to be able to get through each section. And being totally honest, it's probably the most Resident Evil of any challenge video that I've done, because at its core, it's all about resource management and searching every corner and box available. Anyway, as always, like the video or my suffering is absolutely for nothing. Subscribe since you've made it this far. And as always, you've been amazing. I've been Tally. I will catch you all later. Bye. I'm going to go play Resident Evil 6 now because that game's actually kind of fun. See you later. Love you.